Hello everyone, it's Eric Simpson from Rosington Community Baptist Church. Once again, as we come to this time on a Wednesday, as we have our Lent 2022 series, as we look at the Passion, as we look at the story leading up to the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus, and this year, in light of the crisis in Ukraine. Thank you so much for everyone who has been looking at these over these weeks. It's been really good to see. Thank you for the likes, the encouragement that does bring. Today, I sort of come to you, thankfully, via video because I have been tested positive for COVID. I'm doing okay. I just got a bit of weakness. I had a headache yesterday, a bit of stuffy nose. I may sound a bit nasally today. But today we want to come to the point when Jesus is there on the cross. And Jesus makes several statements that we could talk a whole lot about. We're just going to take one of those statements because I think this is central to what Christianity is all about. We need to remember that Christianity is not all about do's and don'ts and rules and regulations and all these sort of things. Christianity at its heart is based in a relationship with God that Jesus allows us to have because of his death on the cross. He offers forgiveness of our sin, which brings us back into relationship with God. So we are going to be thinking about this whole subject of forgiveness for just these few minutes that we had together here. And maybe today you're struggling with forgiveness about something that's happened in your life. Maybe it's something that's happened a long time ago. Maybe it's something that's even happened today. And you're struggling with this whole area of forgiveness. I want to read just a couple of verses, and then we're going to make a few comments just to get us thinking along those lines. And if you need some help or some support in this whole area of forgiveness, or maybe how to work through it, please contact me. You can message me. You can private message me. I'm on Facebook. And let me know how we can try and help you work through this. Luke chapter 23, verse 33 and 34 simply says this: "And when they had come to the place called Calvary, there they crucified him, and the criminals, one on the right hand and the other on the left." Verse 34, "And Jesus said, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they do. And they divided his garments and cast lots." This is one of the most famous sayings of Jesus there on the cross. And there's so much power in it. There's so much that we could talk about. But I just want to bring out this simple suggestion, this simple idea. Here are the ones that abandoned Jesus. Here are the ones that shouted out, "Crucify him." Here are the ones that actually took the nails and the hammer and actually nailed him to the cross. Here are the ones that spat at him. Here are the ones that accused him, all these things. And while Jesus was there on the cross, the ones who hurt him, Jesus said those words, "Father, forgive them. Father, forgive them." Many years ago, I was deeply hurt by something that happened. It's not so important right now, all the details. However, as a result of that, someone gave me a very thin book. It was only 40 or 50 pages long. But the book was entitled "Crucified by Christians." And the whole concept of the book is that as a believer, I can forgive others, even Christians, who hurt me, not because I'm a good person or not because I have the ability within myself, but I can do it because God has forgiven me, and that I have the example of Jesus himself, as he was on the cross, asked God to forgive those who had done him so much harm and so much damage. I know today you may be sitting there struggling with something that's happened to you. Maybe it's something from a long time ago. Maybe it's something that's very recently. And you may say, "Eric, you know what? I love this idea about forgiveness. That'd be great. But here's the thing. I just don't want to. I can't. I'm angry. I'm hurt. I'm numb. If I saw that person, the only thing I'd want to do is just grab them by the neck and shake them, or do something in revenge to get back at them and to show them how much they really hurt me. Sometimes people say, I just don't feel like it. I don't want to. Sometimes people even get the idea that their identity is wrapped up within their anger. Sometimes people say, well, the offending party won't even accept that they've even wronged me. But none of those things should be objections to being able to forgive. Because what does forgiveness do? Forgiveness frees us from the bondage, from the ball and chain of unforgiveness, of having bitterness within our hearts, because that is a true painful thing. And the reality is, if we're not able to forgive, then in reality, the person who hurts us, we allow them to continue on hurting us, even though the event itself is long gone. And more than likely, that person who hurt us doesn't think anything more about it, but we relive it, we play it on in our minds, and we go through that pain again and again and again. Here's a couple things I just want you to note about what forgiveness is and what forgiveness isn't. I truly believe that forgiveness is much more about the victim than the perpetrator. Forgiveness brings a release that we cannot conjure up within ourselves. Now, I'm speaking directly to the Christian now, because the Bible says that we can forgive others because of my own strength? No. Because of my own ability? No. We can forgive others because Christ has forgiven us. You can read that in Ephesians chapter 4. Forgiveness does not mean that the action or the harm that was done against me was okay. Forgiveness does not mean that there are no consequences for what was done. Forgiveness does not mean necessarily that we're going to be best mates again straight away or ever. Forgiveness actually is surrendering our need, our desire for revenge. And we give that hurt, we give that pain over to God, and we release it to Him. So today, and I'm thinking so much about our friends in Ukraine, the horrible things, the images that we see across the television, on YouTube, across the internet, on the news, all these various things. And I've had at least one dear Ukrainian friend said, Eric, I don't know how I'm going to be able to forgive. And I can imagine how difficult that must be. I can imagine. But then I shared also that although I can't relate, I'm not there, I'm not Ukrainian, I don't see the things in the country that I live at. Although I have been there, I don't experience that to the level and to the degree that certainly they're experiencing that themselves. But the thing is, I don't want our Ukrainian friends to be continually being hurt and going through anger and bitterness throughout their entire lives. Yes, we need to process this. Yes, we need to work through this. Yes, we need to be able to deal with this. But at the end of the day, forgiveness is the way out. Forgiveness it leads to the path of freedom, of a lighter spirit, of a way to be able to get on with life so that this bitterness does not eat me away like a cancer. And that's what unforgiveness can do. So I pray that this Easter time, that regardless of what you may be going through right now, that you may be able to find forgiveness within your life for something or someone who has harmed you. God bless you, and we'll see you next time.